The tourists look at each other and someone asks, "What do you mean?" Versions of Verrazzano's last voyage. What do you think happened? Brother Gino, tell us what you believe is Verrazzano's last voyage. Gino's eyes meet mine. He's the shy bookworm in the family and spends hours in the library. His brother calls him a book nerd. I encourage Gino by saying, "Please share your information. We all want to hear how his life ended." Gino focuses on the statue. I know historians are not 100% positive about how he died. I have spent time researching this topic on the internet and reading books. Here is the version I believe is true. The small group assembled around the statue became hushed. They leaned forward and get ready to listen. I watch as Angelo's eyes roam over the visitors. He licks his lips in anticipation of his turn. Gino, the quieter brother, instead bites his lower lip and turns and looks at me. With a sigh, he begins quietly, and we all strain to hear Gino's words. My research revealed that Verrazzano is also known by other names: Jean Florentine, Jean Florin, or Jean Fleury. Yes, there are different names for the same French pirate. You have to imagine the competition between France and Spain back then. One way a country could learn about new riches from another location, like Northern Africa or the New World, was to seize a ship returning from the new country. It is thought the King of France encouraged privateering. That's another word used for piracy. It wasn't uncommon during that period in the late 1520s. The Spanish captured Verrazzano. They called him a pirate and brought him to Spain for justice. Following a trial, the pirate was determined guilty of all charges. The pirate was hanged. That is how I think Verrazzano's life ended. The audience seems stunned. Angelo takes this opportunity for another dramatic appearance. He does not waste a second. "Yo ho, yo ho! I do not believe this for a minute," he says. "Our educated navigator did not commit any crimes. Never. Instead, someone committed a horrible crime against him. I believe this story. Listen to my version." Angelo is not timid like his brother. He begins in a confident voice and says, "After his discoveries along the North American shores in 1524, Verrazzano continued to explore and sail for France. He went to Brazil in 1527, and then a year later, the king asked him to seek a water passage to India. Yes, the year is 1528. Verrazzano's ship returned safely to France after successfully exploring the coast of Florida and the Caribbean. But now listen carefully. But it returns without one rowboat and a few sailors, including our navigator Verrazzano." He pauses as the information sinks in. Records show it was common for sailors to stop in a new harbor or near an island and use a rowboat to explore the island. Eyewitnesses on board watched Verrazzano and a few men row to the island. Upon landing on the perfectly white sandy beach, there was a deadly surprise attack by unfriendly, hostile natives. Imagine how helplessly the sailors on board the ship felt. Imagine the terror and shock they experienced as they watched the savage natives of the Caribbean build a bonfire. Angelo stops to allow this idea to sink in. They were cannibals, unfortunately. Exclamation and gasps from the audience are heard along with Angelo's cry. It's true! Verrazzano's younger brother, who was a map maker and always sailed with his big brother to chart their discoveries, saw it all. He wrote about it, and his letter still exists today. My version is true. Before anyone responds, a man's booming voice, speaking in Italian, begins an emotional story at the crowd's edge. I hear the word Verrazzano used repeatedly and turn to see an unexpected but familiar face.